Alright, so today I am getting our peppers in the ground in our pepper garden. Last year this garden had peppers, cabbage, broccoli, cucumbers, peas. This year I didn't think I was going to have such success starting seeds. So I started a lot and they did really well. So now I have a lot of peppers and I could sell them. But I'm afraid, like, okay, I've made it this far, like I'm afraid they're gonna die, so I want to plant as many as possible so I get some. But I have a feeling that if they all do well, the next like overwhelming moment is going to be, what do I do with all this? But I figured we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So anywho, this is now going to be called the pepper garden behind me. We have all the hot peppers in the raised beds here, and then I have like the sweet and non-hot peppers down on the ground. I am going to be putting some cucumbers and peas on these cattle panel trellises here. I'm going to plant the cucumbers on one and then succession plant peas on the other. It's kind of just in the corner of our fenced in backyard. But I have heard about egg in the hole for tomatoes. So I'm like, well, I have a lot of tomatoes I need to get in the ground too, and I'm kind of worried because I thought I was gonna have more room to have tomatoes. So I'm gonna have tomatoes in here, but I'm also gonna have to container garden a lot of them. But anyhow, I've heard of people doing like egg in the hole for tomatoes. So I'm like, well, let's try it for peppers. So of course everybody uses chicken eggs, but being quail farmers, I want to try quail eggs too. So what I'm gonna do, my sweet mini bell mix from Baker Creek, those are like my most well-established peppers. I'm going to put a chicken egg in one hole, and right next to it I'm going to put 3 quail eggs in another hole, and just kind of compare and see what happens and see how they do, like quail egg versus chicken egg, and versus like no egg at all. I'm also going to try this experiment with the tomatoes. So just something kind of weird and fun, and I guess what can it hurt? I mean, maybe it could hurt something, like maybe it'll throw the nutrients off for peppers. Like I know people do it for tomatoes, but I'm gonna try it with peppers. And I have 7 of the sweet mini bell mix. So if this happens to kill one or make it not like have the opposite effect, I think like I'm not gonna be terribly worried about it because we have so many peppers. It's a little embarrassing. So I'm gonna go grab some eggs. Hey, I'm here to steal some eggs. There's a blue one. Hi. Excuse me, don't mind me. This is from my leg bar. I'll show it to you outside. I don't have the lights on in here in the summer because they don't really need it. In the winter, we turn the light on to help with egg production and kind of helping keep them warm. Oh, look, there's a bunch in there. Yep, there's a little silky egg. All right, we got our eggs here. I'm gonna try not to drop them. I have to go back and close the coop door because they like to jump up on top. They jump up on top here and then jump down, and then they run out. So we can't have that. We live in the suburbs and cannot have free-range chickens. I'm sorry, the wording in the ordinance is your animals may not run at large. So, aka no free-range chickens. So, but I have some brown, an olive, a different shade of olive. Here you can kind of see them side by side. Just a regular silky pinkish light tan egg, and a leg bar blue egg. Oopsies, locked myself out. Ugh, squeeze it, suck it in, suck it in. Go set these down. I'm gonna try to do 1 pepper with a chicken egg, 1 pepper with quail eggs, and then I am gonna put some tomatoes in the ground. So I'm gonna put a chicken egg in the ground, tomato, and then like I said, I'm gonna have to put a bunch of the tomatoes in containers. So I'm also gonna try a chicken egg versus quail eggs in the tomato containers, just because obviously that's a little bit different than growing in the ground. So I figured, why not? So now we're gonna go in the quail barn. Hey everybody! Hey, how's it going? All right, so we're gonna grab some non-customer facing eggs, basically project colors. And we don't have room in the incubator for them. That one's got poop on it, which probably is all the better, but I can only hold 6 quail eggs in my hand. Actually, probably only like 5. I'm probably gonna drop some. And I need 9 quail eggs. So I'm gonna have to make a couple trips. Well, let's grab some cellies. We'll put 1 celly in each hole. Why not? So just celadon quail eggs. Do you like my quail barn door? It looks like a quail egg. A normal quail egg, and then the outside is like a celadon quail egg. When I went to go pick out that paint color at Lowe's, I actually took a celadon quail egg in there, and I was like matching it, and the guy at Lowe's is like, is it a robin's egg? I'm like, nope, better. It's a quail egg. So, all right, got my quail and chicken eggs, and we're gonna do that. Oh, it's kind of interesting to see. This is all stuff we found in our field, which is annoying. That's for a story for another day. So it's funny to compare the celadon quail egg to the chicken egg. Look at this pretty little assortment of eggs. It is pretty. The sun is kind of washing out. It's definitely prettier in person. And we'll turn this over because there's poop on there. And it kind of ruins the mood. There, how's that? There! It's beautiful. Can you see? I can't see. Can you see? Yeah, okay. So, chicken egg. So, plop her in there. And I'm just gonna crack it just a little bit. I've heard people not crack them and then go to pull them up in the fall or whatever, and they're like rotten and gross. Ew, there's a grub. I don't like grubs. I don't like die. I hate bugs and grubs. Gross. That is like the #1 reason I don't like gardening in the ground, and I would prefer container gardening. But such is life. First of all, they gross me out. Second of all, they tend to destroy your roots and your plants. Put that in there. So we'll see. There's another like grub thing. Maybe not. Maybe that's a pepper. I can't tell. Whatever it is, it looks gross and I don't want it where I am right now. I really don't like bugs. So, being that I'm planting tomatoes, I'll be honest, because I've never personally grown tomatoes, but that's probably too deep. Because I've never grown tomatoes before, I don't know if we have tomato hornworms here or if that's just something that like some of the warmer climates get, but I have heard of tomato hornworms and I have seen pictures of them and they look atrocious and scary, and I hope I never find one. Alright, so here's my, pretty broken. Here's my little quail eggs, and I grabbed 1 little celadon just because I could. So I'll throw them in there, and we'll crack each one just a hair. Oop. There we go. Throw this in there. And you might be wondering, well, why did you do 3 quail eggs versus a chicken egg? Well, friends, quail eggs are a lot smaller than chicken eggs. So I figured in the morning when I make eggs for the family, it takes about 3 or 4 quail eggs. Really, to be fair, I probably should have done 4 quail eggs because those weren't even jumbos. Those were just regular standard sized quail. But it takes 3 or 4 quail eggs to equal 1 chicken egg. So I figured it was only fair that for this experiment we did the same thing. All right, we got our chicken egg pepper plant and our quail egg pepper plant. And I'm just gonna plant the rest like normal, and then we'll do that for the tomatoes, and we'll do it for the tomatoes in the containers. All right, so I have all my peppers in the ground, which is a really good feeling. I have a lot left over, which is not such a good feeling. Well, Nana was freaking out because he can't get to Brandon, but so I got most of the, or not most of, some of the peppers in the ground, but I got all the peppers in the ground that are going to go in the ground. So I guess small success there. But now I'm working on my tomatoes. I want to make sure they have plenty of space, so I actually only have a total of 12 in here. So I have 8 regular tomato plants and 4 tomatillos because I really like salsa verde. I'm going to try the egg in the hole experiment with the tomatoes as well as the tomatillos. I was curious, obviously they're like similar, but they are different. So I thought it was worth a shot. And of course, if I'm going to try chicken egg in the hole, I have to try quail egg in the hole. Chicken eggs and quail eggs each have different nutritional values, so it'll be interesting to see which ones the plants like better. So I'm going to get these 12 plants, or 12 tomatoes in the ground, and then I'm gonna, it's kind of late, so I might be done for the day, but got a lot done today. I was very overwhelmed before I started the day, but got a lot accomplished so far. I wanted to show how I'm going to plant my tomatoes. I think it's super cool actually, these little hairs on the plant. If you put those in soil, they actually turn to roots. So if you bury your tomatoes deeper, they'll get a better root system, thus putting forth more fruit. It's kind of late, so I know a lot of people with longer growing seasons do this because then the plant will get taller and grow more roots and so on and so forth. I don't know if I have time for that here, but I'm going to try it anyways, just because that's like everything I've read, even people like, so we're zone 4B, I believe, and even people in like zone 5 do this as well, so it's worth a shot, so we'll see. So basically, yeah, I'm just going to plant these as deep as I can, probably like up to here. You want to put it in the hole for me?
5 chicken eggs go in holes.
That's how we grow chickens.
That's not true.
Break the egg.
Yeah, so you don't have to, but okay, leave it in there. You can take this and just barely crack it. Just crack it just a hair. A little bit more. Like, actually, there you go. All right. Okay. So some people don't, but I've heard horror stories about how people have dug them back up and they're like rotten. Yeah, so I decided to crack it because I can't stomach that.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna plant this bad boy. So this one we're gonna label chicken egg in hole.
Chicken egg, whole tomato. What about if the tomato turns to a tomato part chicken egg?
I don't think it's gonna happen, but so I have some quail eggs here. What do you think I'm gonna do for this tomato?
Fro all free?
Yep. I want to see if they're gonna be different. So it's the same exact tomato. See?
Same
They're both
tomato.
Hungarian heart. Hungarian heart. And we have chicken egg in the hole there, and we're gonna do 3 quail eggs in the hole here. And we'll see what we get. Kind of feels like we're pulling a latte and we're digging a hole to China with latte, huh? Where's latte? We need help digging a hole to China.
She's under the deck, being a good girl.
This is actually the perfect job for latte.
Yeah, digging a hole to China with sand.
Yeah.
Oh, she made a hole out of the fence. actually.
Yeah.
Only if you did not know that. Eggs.
Alright, let's see.
It's good.
No, a little deeper.
Thanks for reminding me.
Gee whiz.
Are you digging for treasure?
Feels like it. No, we're burying treasure.
Egg treasure.
You can take them. Throw them in there.
Well,
You should crack each one. Those are a little harder to crack, aren't they? Did you get all three? There you go. Okay.
Sticking to shelf.
Alright.
Do
you want to do this tomato? There you go. Yep. And then
Flip it.
good job. Plop her in there. No. Dip, dip,
Okay.
dip, dip.
That's what we did to the peppers.
Alright, so I got this garden all planted here. I decided, or Brandon and I decided that instead of planting the peas and cucumbers on this cattle panel here, we are actually going to turn another part of the yard into a garden because I'm pretty sure that, well, I know that the dogs are going to, they spend a lot of time in the fenced in backyard here, and I know that they're just going to rip all of that out. We were already experiencing some of the extra strawberries that I had put in just pots to see how well they would do. The dogs were tugging at those and playing with them, which obviously was really irritating. So I don't want that with the peas and cucumbers, so we're actually going to turn a part of the yard outside of this fenced in area into a garden, close it in with cattle panels for those things to climb, and then in the middle I'm going to do more tomatoes and peppers because I have so many tomatoes and peppers that even the amount of buckets that I bought is still not enough. I'm super happy with how this turned out. So in these raised beds are the hot peppers. Down here in the middle are the sweet and like non-hot peppers. And then I have tomatoes. So I have 12 plus 3, so I have 15 tomato plants. And then some asparagus. So this is last year's seeds. And then I planted some more crowns here. And as you can see, Khaleesi is helping herself to grass that's in there, which is the reason why we are moving the peas and cucumbers not in the fenced-in area. Right, Khaleesi? Like, who, me? I would never do such a thing. Yeah, that's okay. So that adventure of making a new garden will have to be on another video because that is going to be another day. I still have to water and feed everybody yet. The ducks need to be done. I still need to water some plants out front, and I'm exhausted. So this was kind of another vlog trial. So hopefully you guys enjoyed planting with me again. We're definitely using a lot of cattle panels this year, so yay! Hopefully you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today, and even though plans kind of changed a little bit, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Here you can see those are my Fleet Farm buckets that I was gonna put my extra tomatoes and peppers in. I bought 10 of them because they were on sale, but I have way more than 10 extra tomatoes and peppers. I thought about selling them, and I still might after we build this garden expansion, but to me, after sticking, why am I bleeding? I'm bleeding, I don't know why. I cut myself or something. To me, the amount of time and effort that I've put into these plants and stuff, I would rather store all that and keep it. If we do this garden expansion, I still have some peppers and tomatoes or other plants in abundance. I might try selling them or trading them for other things or gifting them. So yeah, it's been fun. And while I've been out here the past few days, that Mama Robin that we were talking about, she's been back. And there are I think there's 3 chicks in there. Like when I walked past, I kind of peeked in there to see, and I think there's 3 chicks in there, which is kind of cool. So I'm glad that she's back, and she's been nosing around in the garden for worms and stuff. But yeah, as I'm like sitting here recording and just like looking out over this garden, and I'm like, I like did that. Like, I did that. I started those seeds, and they're like plants, and they're like in the ground, and they're gonna make vegetables that my family's gonna eat. That is so cool, you guys. Like those plants, those big old like green plants started from seeds, and I nurtured them and watered them. I killed some of their brethren, but that's really cool. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I've come a really long way from man, I've killed so many plants in my life, like so many plants. It's like looking out over this garden of this stuff. Like, granted, there's no fruit. Like, you know, don't count your chickens before don't count your chickens before they hatch, and like don't count your peppers and tomatoes before they grow. But I've never produced this, and this isn't even all of it. Like, I still have a whole greenhouse full. Oh, excuse my mess of gardening stuff, but a whole greenhouse full of stuff that I can't fit in this garden, and I have to like make a bigger garden because I did so good. It's a good problem. I was really overwhelmed earlier today, but when Brandon made the suggestion to make another garden, like, it was, even though it's gonna be more work to get that put in, like, it's a huge relief. And I think like I really realized deep down inside that's really what I wanted, or what I needed, I guess, because the thought of selling these plants, it just wasn't lining up with what my heart wanted. So knowing that I can keep these plants is a really good feeling. So I'll add one more thing to the to-do list, but it makes me happy, and I feel like it's a step in the right direction. Because yeah, it's one more thing to do this year, but then next year it's gonna be ready to go, you know. So, you know, as we sit here and dream of a new property and a farm or whatever, like a real farm, not a suburban farm, I can't help but to be grateful for how far we've come. Like, we bought this property about 1.5 years ago, and we have hundreds of quail, over a dozen rabbits, a bunch of chickens, dogs, family, roof over our head. We're not paying rent, so that our money is just going nowhere. Like, it's going into the equity of our house. And, you know, a lot of times I say, oh, we only have 1 acre. But like 2 years ago, I would have, like, I prayed to have 1 acre of my own, and now we have it. And now I can have these quail and the rabbits and the chickens, and not one garden, but I have, so 1, 2, we're gonna make a third. We have the crop field, and that's just like the vegetable gardens. I also have several flower gardens and flower pots. I have a greenhouse. Like, what? I have a greenhouse. So I guess sitting here, it's kind of humbling. So yeah, my dreams are a lot bigger, but it wasn't too long ago that I was dreaming of this, and now I have it. So it feels good to sit here and just like look at it and be like, okay, I did this. It's super cool. So I know that got kind of deep. Like, we were just talking about plants, man, and all of a sudden we're like talking about like life dreams and stuff. But I think sometimes it's the little things. You have to appreciate the little things. So anyways, thank you for watching, and blessings to you.